everybody, my name is Jill Miller. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my Saturday, which is my very favorite day of the week. And this is a really special Saturday for me because my husband and my daughter are at a basketball game. So I actually have an entire afternoon to myself. So I thought this was a great opportunity to share with you a dessert recipe, because one of the fun things about this whole Real Women of Philadelphia is you have this whole extended group of women out there that love to cook just as much as you do. My husband does not want to hear about recipes every day. So I get to come here and do this video and share my recipe with you. So let me show you what I'm going to make. So what I have and what I'm going to show you how to make is, I call them peach and blueberry Philly cream cheese tartlets. And they are inspired by my husband because he loves peach and blueberry cobbler. The first thing we're going to start with is, I have a bag of frozen peaches. And this is a 16-ounce bag, and I'm only going to use half of it, so about 8 ounces of the frozen peaches. So I'm going to put the peaches in the bowl. And one of the things with the peaches is they are pretty big. You've got a full slice of peach here. And with the tartlets being so small, a full slice of peach cannot go on the tartlet. So I actually have a really nifty way that I prepare these, because if you put them on your board, then you're going to have a messy board. So what I do is I just take my scissors right into the bowl and I cut the peaches. And this goes a lot quicker, usually, than putting them on the board and chopping them up. And we're going to cut them in about, it's about a ½ inch or an inch slice, and that will give you about a few pieces of peach and a few on your tartlet. Okay, the next thing we want to do is, I'm going to put a little lemon juice in this bowl, about a tablespoon or so, and I'm going to mix cornstarch into my lemon juice. This is my zester, and if you put it over the bowl, if it'll stay. This one's little, oh, balance it. There we go. And then you squeeze your lemon over your zester. Then your lemon juice goes right into your bowl, but your seeds do not. And this is really helpful for me because I cannot squeeze a lemon with one hand, and I've tried all these techniques that people have. So when I saw this on TV, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So once you're done, then your seeds are not in your bowl. Okay, and then we want to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of cornstarch and mix it into your lemon juice. And the reason we're using the cornstarch is because I want the cornstarch to absorb some of the liquid with the peaches. If you don't put some cornstarch in to absorb some of the liquid, when you finish your tarts, the liquid will run and it won't, it'll just run out, and you don't want it to run out. So I'm going to pour that in the peaches. The next thing is, we need about a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon right in the bowl. So in the peaches, we're going to put in a 1/4 cup of sugar. Alright, so once you get your sugar in and your lemon juice and your nutmeg and your cinnamon, I'm just going to stir this up. So the next thing I'm going to add to the peaches is a few handfuls of the blueberries, because it's peach and blueberry tartlet, so we need some blueberries in there. So we're going to set that aside, and the next thing we are going to do is prepare our cream cheese mixture. So in my bowl I have 4 ounces of Philadelphia original cream cheese, and into that I'm going to mix ½ teaspoon of vanilla. Actually, a teaspoon of vanilla. Let's do a full teaspoon of vanilla. Next thing we're going to add is a 1/4 cup of cinnamon sugar. So my mixture is actually a 4 to 1. It's mainly because I want to keep it in my jar. I do a half a cup of sugar to 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. So the next thing we want to add to this is about a teaspoon or so of lemon juice, which I'm going to do the same action again using my grater to squeeze the lemon so that I don't get my seeds in the bowl. In my cream cheese I have vanilla, I have lemon juice, and I have a 1/4 cup of cinnamon sugar, and it's 4 ounces of cream cheese. So we just want to incorporate all of that. And this is going to be the filling in addition to our peaches and blueberries for our little tartlets. The next step, put these aside. is we're gonna clean up just a tad and prepare our puff pastry. You don't want to put the puff pastry on a wet surface. You actually want to make sure you have a little bit of flour out. Right, well, they come in these boxes, and you want to thaw them in your refrigerator. So here, this is perfect. So it's thawed out in the fridge, easy to fold out. And you want to lay it on your surface and make sure there's some flour so it doesn't stick. It can get really sticky as you're working with it, as it starts coming to room temperature. So you want to make sure you have enough flour. All right, now I roll this out to about 10 by 10, and then I use a 3.5 inch round cutter to make 5 tartlets out of this one sheet of puff pastry. So I'm just going to roll this out a little bit. Let me see. I just need to be able to get 3 across, and then I do 2 on each end. All right, and I think I got it. Okay. So you want to cut out your pastry and then put your pastry on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. That will help your cleanup, as well as it helps it not stick to the pan. So I'm actually going to preheat my oven to 400. And they're actually going to cook, they'll bake in the oven at 400 for about 13 to 15 minutes depending on your oven. One of the things you want to do is actually prick that pastry a few times in the center where you're going to be putting your filling with a fork. And what that will do is it'll keep the center from puffing up, but it will allow your edges where you haven't pricked it with the fork to puff up. So I'm going to do it on a little assembly line and put a teaspoon of the cinnamon cream cheese mixture on each puff pastry round. This is our peach mixture with our blueberries. We're going to put just a little bit. I know these peaches are still big, but it kind of is nice, even though these are little, to get a bite of the peach. Make sure there's a good bite of the peach. And the pastry wraps around it, and it combines with the cream cheese, and it's really good. And I use this little teeny spoon because it helps me to make sure I'm controlling my amount. So you're going to pleat your pastry and make it look like a little flower. And it doesn't have to be perfect. They're really cute. They do stay together. This one I got a little bit juice on it, but it's all right. All right, so this one we're going to do it again. Just pleat. I just pull it in and then pull it up and then spin it. And it may seem like it's too full, but you do want to have enough filling in there. Just keep pleating and then smush it together. And then you have these cute little flowers. Okay, and there you go. Voila, pretty little. They look like little flowers. They're really cute. All right, so then once you got to this point, you're going to put them in your oven and bake them for 13 to 15 minutes, depending on your oven. I'll put these in for 13. So now, what we're going to do is, these are our final product, our beautiful little peach and blueberry tartlet. And so what we like to do in our family is, when it's a family event and we bring the dessert to the table, we also bring what we call our dessert accessories. So for this particular dessert, what I have is some glaze. So you can either glaze each one individually and let people decide, or if you want to put them on a platter, just as on a buffet or a dessert buffet, you can glaze all of them. This is whipped cream, and I'm going to put that on the plate next to it. See the pretty tart. You can also use a little piping bag if you want it to be prettier. We don't always, you know, it doesn't have to be so pretty. And then we're going to put a few blueberries, because there's blueberries in our tart. And then we're going to put a little bit of mint. See, as Paula says, you need to have your vegetables, so we're going to have a little bit of mint. And there you have it, a very beautiful, very tasty, as my husband would say, perfect bite of blueberry cream cheese, peach and blueberry Philly cream cheese tartlet. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you try and make this at home, because I know your family's going to love it. My family loves it. My husband loves these. And I really appreciate you joining me today in the kitchen. And thank you, Paula Dean and Philadelphia Cream Cheese. And thank you. I hope you enjoy my tartlet.